So we've gone through all the senses. Just a bit of a shame, isn't it? I've been really enjoying this Sensual Feast and sharing all my different tea and pairing experiences and sensual sensory stuff with you. It's been a real honor and a delight. But I'm not going anywhere. Sensual Feasts is over on the 21st of November. That's when Scorpio season ends. So I'll be sharing similar stuff, if not almost the exact same vein as Scorpio season, but just less frequently. I have some other projects that I'd like to work well on and dedicate a lot of my time to. Let's talk about touch, but not touching skin or ourselves, touching other things. So, touching tree trunks, touching bark, touching leaves, touching nature, touching the grass if it won't give you an allergic reaction. Actually, feeling what it feels like. And I was thinking about this as I was sitting on the tram earlier. Are our fingertips actually the most sensitive part of our body to touch? And I'm not sure that they are, because the tongue is very sensitive to texture. So when I say touching other things, I don't just mean with your fingertips. It could be doing a coconut oil massage and just lathering yourself up in coconut oil and feeling what it feels like to rub your slippery, oily body and skin all over things, and just how that feels. I think that's a certain mood, maybe not to everyone's tastes or desires. When you bite into an apricot, so stone fruit season starting in Australia, and when you bite into an apricot or a nectarine, they all have slightly different skins, and we often feel them with our fingers. But when you go to bite it, do you actually lick it? Do you actually let your tongue feel that for itself? Which could be a fun thing. And I love clothing for the sensory touch stuff. I had a corduroy jacket that I held on to far longer than I should have, because it didn't suit my style lines. But I just loved it because it was corduroy, and I would touch my arms, and I loved touching my collar bit. And then I also pinned cute little buttons and pins on it. So there would be the glossy enamel, and then the metal, and then the corduroy feel, and I just really enjoyed that. One of my friends keeps a soft, fluffy key ring in their car within reach. And so whenever there's any traffic stress or someone does something, a little bit silly, they just go to feel this fluffy thing as a self-assurance thing. If you enjoy the senses and it's not too much and it's going to benefit you, try it. I think I started a lot of hobbies because the act of knitting or crocheting and the amount of actual touch you have to use to create a jumper was insane. It was one of my ways of self-soothing on the train or the bus or the tram. At university I was knitting jumpers, and that's something I'll always sort of be grateful for. My styles have changed, so I can't really make the jumpers that I want to wear, but I still remember that, and I still think of it very fondly. And it does actually encourage certain conversations. I've had a few Italian grandmothers ask me about my knitting, but it's enjoying the little bits, having a fluffy keyring on your bag, or choosing a velvet pouch instead of just a cotton pouch, enjoying a purse that actually feels nice to hold if you're still using a purse, rather than cold hard leather, which can also feel great sometimes, but then there are so many other things to choose from as well. I love the act of, cleaning my glasses from smudges because I just love that cloth. It just feels amazing and it feels like a little special thing to do. And also, like with cooking, touching the ingredients that you're cutting. Touching raw meats, probably not the most delightful thing to do, but touching the vegetables. What does it feel like cut? What does the skin feel like? And maybe like if you're making something with whole seeds, like a dal, so you've got some cumin seeds or fennel seeds, just feeling the texture of them, because you probably have never held them long enough to actually feel that. I know I haven't, so I really want to do that the next time I make a dal or a curry for myself. And it's just about, have I actually ever touched what I'm holding? Do I gently stroke, rub what is in my hand? And are these things that I've held many, many times, but just not thought to touch? Because I think there's an important distinction. We hold lots of things, but do we actually touch them? I know that one of my wardrobe requirements is that the fabric is enjoyable to touch, or not itchy at least. Like, that's the bare minimum. It has to be not itchy, has to be easy to wash, don't like ironing, and I've got to actually enjoy swiping down my arm. And if I don't, I tend to not wear those pieces, and I tend to give them to the op shop or pass them along. And some little things that we can do, if you enjoy the soft, the fluffies, and having a teddy bear in your lap while you're working at work isn't an option. Having a seat cover, I'd love a corduroy seat cover or a cushion for your lower back, but it's just a nice thing to touch. Having, if you're a lady, having a couple of scarves in the top drawer, either to accessorize or simply just to touch. I love silk. I love all of that. I love the soft, the satin, the sateen, the velveteen. It's just so luxurious and fun. I love touching new tree branches. So there's a tree in Japan which I believe is called naked monkey's bottom or something like that, because it's so smooth. There's no apparent bark, and you go to touch it and it's just this wow. It's finished wood, like it's been lacquered or like it's been varnished, and that was amazing and fascinating, and I will remember that for a really long time. And touching flower petals just feels joyous, and it can be so easy to just, while you're walking past a little garden, could be your neighbours, could be that you're going to the Royal Botanical Gardens, and you just gently touch a leaf. Does it leave a scent on your hands? And smell for that. Just the sensory exploration we have access to, but choose not to, because what are people going to think of us? I'm the tree toucher. Actually, don't mind being called the tree toucher. But yeah, it's just have some fun, have some play. I certainly will. If anyone comes up to me and asks me why I'm touching some trees or why I'm petting some petals, I'll just tell them that they feel nice. I really enjoy the experience, and as long as I'm not harming them, I see no reason to stop. because it brings me an immense amount of joy, and it actually helps me come back into myself and feel connected to earth and nature. Walking can be great sometimes, but sometimes walking isn't enough. Being surrounded by things sometimes isn't enough. We have to touch, we have to smell, we have to hear, and the more senses that can be activated, sometimes the better. We've got one more day of sensual senses, so I'll see you tomorrow, and then I'll have to wrap up Sensual Feast during the season of Scorpio, which has been a blast. Thank you so much for being here. If you have enjoyed this journey, and if you are curious to find out where I go from here, where we go from here, what events, what pairings, what flavors, what touches, what senses we play with, yeah, subscribe and follow. If long form videos aren't your thing, then follow my Instagram at Velvet and Truth. And maybe on the final day of Sensual Feast, I will share with you why I chose Velvet and Truth. That'll be a good story, actually, I think.